the world. I've traveled extensively, the length and breadth of the whole world. I went to all the medical schools in Russia. That time it was a larger Russia. I've been to many countries, Bulgaria, Romania. All these places I visited the top medical schools. And I also went to China, the Caribbean, Africa. All these places I visited to see if we would have a right school for Indian students, and I found none. The major problem we had in these countries was language first. Number one was language. None of this country spoke English. None of this country. Russia, though they say that they're running a medical school in English language these days, please go there and try to find out. It is not the truth. They manage English in the classroom. And most of the major schools, they say you have to learn Russian language and study medicine. The first 2 years, you'll have to learn the language and then study medicine. It is impossible. I've been in Maharashtra for the last 37 years. I did my college here in Maharashtra. I'm ashamed to say, even today, I don't speak Marathi fluently. I'm not happy to say this. But one thing for sure, it's not so easy to adapt a language so easily. Now here is a country which says, you come here, learn our language, and you can study medicine. Impossible. For an argument, let us say, they teach in English. In medicine, there is another major issue. It's not only in the classroom, it's very important. When you go to the hospitals, what language you will speak to the patients. You have to understand what is their problem. How do you interact with them? Absolutely impossible if you do not have a country which speaks English for learning medicine. Now about China, it is still worst. It is still worst. I go to China almost every month because I'm building a hospital in Pune. You would have heard about Wadia Hospital, am I right? I'm the chairman of Wadia Hospital. And now I'm renovating that one into the most ultra-modern hospital in the country. The inauguration will be this September. You're all invited. Whether you join our medicine or not, you're still invited. Please come and see the kind of hospital I have built. It is going to be the most astonishing, ultra-modern, multi-speciality hospital in the country. I'm directly challenging if any other hospital could match the kind of facilities that we are going to provide. Again, I want to tell you, this is going to serve the poor community. All these facilities, it is not created to serve only the elite. It is going to serve the very ordinary and the poor. Okay? Now, I used to go quite often to China to get some of the materials, not the equipments. I'm talking about some furnitures and other things. I go often. And I visited most of the medical schools today, and even in those days, I'm talking about in 2001, 2002, 2003, I have visited. None of the schools will fit for Indian students again. The major issue is language. Even these days, when I go there, I spend lot many hours on the road trying to find out the address. It's so difficult. They don't speak a word. Okay. Now language, as I have told you, is very, very important for education. And we cannot learn that language and get into a professional course like medicine. This is very important. The Caribbean, Africa, and all these countries have got similar problem. Now the second most important problem again I saw in these countries were the climate. Climate equally plays an important role when you have to do medicine, because it first of all puts you in an uneasy position to learn. We are living in a tropical climatic country where our temperature can go up to 40 degrees or even plus. Now all of a sudden, you go to these countries It's absolutely the reverse. Minus 20 degree. In Russia, you're going to St. Petersburg, and even in Volgograd and all these places where the universities are established, if you go there, it directly go into minus 20 degree. There all of a sudden you'll have to wear all those bulky clothing and walk around. It first of all puts you at an uneasy position. You cannot study. You know, when the temperature goes even to 15, 20, we cover ourselves with multiple blankets, am I right? Quite often we use quilts. And there, it is really, really pathetic. Now when I talk about the climate, it's not only it puts you at an uneasy position, the most important thing for a medical student is the climate determines the disease pattern. You understand? When you go to any country, the disease pattern, what you see in that country has to be of the disease what you find in our country if you have to come back and practice. Now these countries will have an extremely different pattern of disease. We are living in a tropical climatic country. Our disease pattern is totally different, and I always say this sentence, which may not be a healthy sentence. I say most of the tropical climatic countries, especially a country like India, is blessed with varieties of disease. Am I right or wrong? Richly blessed with varieties of disease. I think we are one of the countries which might be having different kinds of diseases. It starts here, I would say. I'm not so proud to say this. Our primary healthcare system has to improve a lot in our country. Luckily, you are living in cities. You may not know the pathetic situations. You travel into the remote villages. Health is not at all there. It is going to reach maybe a decade or two later. We are all blessed. So here, the disease pattern is not the same. So when you learn in these countries, you will not get an exposure to any of the disease what we have got in our country. I've seen many of the students studying in Western world, they go all the way to tropical climatic countries to see diseases. Different kinds of diseases, malaria, diarrhea, and all these diseases you will never find in those countries. And these are all very, very common diseases, which leads to many other diseases. So you have to study in a tropical climatic country. The third important thing that makes one a doctor is clinical practice, hands-on experience. None of these countries will allow you to touch their patients. They don't allow you at all. You can watch them from a distance. These are all patients who are highly insured, and they're all very much secured, and they don't want a student to be learning on them. If you go to Russia, most of the hospitals and theaters and everywhere, you will have a view hole where you can just stay there in a glass top just to view the patients, not get even closer. Any other profession, you can learn by theory. Medicine, I tell you, you can only learn when you have hands-on practice. Am I right, doctor? So these are all the major issues which are very, very negative for our students to go and study medicine. I was doing a research. Finally, I went to Philippines and I found the entire country suits for our requirement. Exactly suits for our requirement. I have 20-point agenda. 20 points. There is climate, language, visa matters, and clinical practice, and our finance, everything put together. I had 20 points. Believe me, I had 25 plus points going to Philippines. Starting from flights to that country. You got flights from every cities. The visa procedure is easy. It's not too far away. It took me almost around 4 hours for me to reach from Pune here. By this time, I would be very closer to Hong Kong. And Philippines is just 1.5 hours away from Hong Kong. Okay. If someone is coming from Kolhapur, I'm very sure that you will reach Philippines faster than going to Kolhapur. It's not too far away. And every cities have got at least 6 to 7 flights every day. Mumbai has got maybe around 10 to 15 flights every day to this destination. And visa can be available even in the same day. Easy procedure. In some countries you might get an admission and the visa is unknown. It's not the university that gives the visa. It is the country, and quite often you could be rejected. So this country, when I put all those details, it exactly matched my requirement, including the hospitality of the people.